Hello, my queen, and welcome to another episode of Body and Beyond, where we're all about ditching the rules, the pressure, dropping the weight physically, emotionally, and mentally so you can feel good in your body. I'm your host, Julie, a women's well-being coach, a personal trainer, cocktail lover, and I'm here to help you embrace health your way. I don't know about you, but for years I spent a lot of time overeating when I really didn't want to. I have PCOS, and when my hormones are being an absolute dick, it's like my appetite just never switches off. But I would also keep eating to soothe my emotions. Like most of the time, I wouldn't even realize that I was having an emotion that needed soothing in the first place. This led me to eating large amounts of food, probably several times a week. And then I would follow this with a fuck ton of self-loathing and then dieting and then binging again. This vicious cycle of binge and restrict. It took me years to stop doing this, and it still comes back every now and again. More so now that I'm in my 40s and my hormones are beginning to do their thing and they're trying to shift again and lots of emotions are coming up. It becomes worse when I'm doubting myself. That's when it's at its most, when I'm trying to avoid doing something, like procrastination on another level, when I'm fearful of doing something, when I'm doubting that. Then it gets worse because I still quite haven't learned how to manage that fear that sits behind that. So I'm working on a program that I want to release, and I've got all the doubts and all the shitty self-worth thoughts and the emotions are coming up. So my eating over this last kind of couple of months has very much been linked to self-soothing. And I had sort of caught myself in the beginning of certainly this week to just regroup with myself and just have that moment of I need some time to regroup before I just sit here and eat my face off. And I share this about my current situation because I want you to know that you're not alone. So if your belly is full and your brain whispers, please give me some more, what's actually happening? Well, it is often emotional hunger. And yes, it absolutely is a thing. It's when we turn to food, not because our body needs energy, but because our hearts and our mind and maybe even our soul just needs something else. Some comfort, some relief, some joy, some connection, maybe even this sense of control. And let me say this loud and clear. There is no shame in emotional eating. Food is emotional. It always has been. Think about it. On birthdays, on holidays, romantic dinner, tea and biscuits with your grandparents, or cozy afternoons in front of the fire, chocolate on your period. Food is wrapped in memories, meanings, and this started at such a young age. I don't know if you remember, going to the dentist and being given a lollipop because you've been so good at the dentist, the irony in that. But also when you fall over and you get hurt, or when you're sad and you're upset, what do our parents do? They give us food. So we've been taught that this is comfort. And even when we're like a newborn, we cry, we express some sad emotion, although obviously we don't know that it's sad at the time, but it's that crying. And babies get given food in the form of milk. So food has always been an emotional kind of comfort for us. So if you find yourself reaching for the food in those moments of stress or loneliness, that does not mean that you failed or that you're broken. It simply means that you are human. Now, many years ago, I would binge eat on a Tuesday evening because my husband wasn't at home. If emotional eating becomes your normal, your go-to for every uncomfortable situation or every uncomfortable feeling, then that's when it's worth exploring why you resort to this type of comfort. It took me years to figure out that it was my loneliness and fear of being abandoned that I just couldn't bear to feeling. So I comforted myself with an absolute ton of food to completely zone out of feeling alone. So next time you find yourself staring at the fridge for your next snack, pause, take a deep breath and gently ask yourself, with tons of compassion, no judgment here, what am I really hungry for? Sometimes the answer is surprising. Maybe it's a rest. Is it late in the evening and instead of going to bed, you're heading to the kitchen? Maybe it's a cuddle. Maybe it's space. Maybe it's boredom, looking to be entertained or struggling with some boundaries of people and you just don't know how to deal with it. Maybe you are starving for something that food just can't give you. And that's okay. Awareness alone can be so powerful when it comes to those times when we're eating and we really know that we don't want to. So now, how your eating makes a difference to wanting to eat more. Are you paying attention when you're eating? Or are you multitasking, scrolling, rushing through your meal like it's just another thing to do off your to-do list? When we eat distracted, it's like trying to enjoy a beautiful song with the volume turned down. You miss the signals, the pleasure, and yes, even that moment of fullness. Like, how many times have you opened a packet of chocolate and not even realised that you've eaten it all? Your attention was on the TV. You not only missed the joy of eating the actual chocolate in the first place, but the body didn't register that it had even been eaten. Your body and your mind loves you to be engaged with your food. It wants different textures and flavours. It wants you to feel like you've participated in the eating so that it can tell you when to stop. So try slowing down, sit with your food, notice the taste, the smell, the texture. Let your body and your brain actually register this satisfaction from the food. And here's another biggie. Are you eating enough during the day? So many women tell me that they've been good all day, only to just feel totally out of control in the evening. But it's not a lack of willpower. This is biology. Your body is wise. If it's underfed, it will demand energy later. That late night snack raid, it might be your body making up for the missed meals. It's absolutely not a character flaw for you. I know that when I have been on diets and I followed the rules, I have found my desire for food to become so intense. It's when I feel deprived of food and all my attention is being given to not eating certain types of food because it's not time or I'm not allowed to have it. All I want to do is fuck eat. When we disregard our body's natural need for food, it encourages us to eat because the body is doing its beautiful and very clever thing at making sure that you have enough energy to make it through the day. Except it doesn't know that you're trying to follow somebody else's rules about what and when you should be eating. So what do? Genuinely ask yourself if you are feeding yourself enough nutritious food on a regular basis during the day. Are you following some rules that are telling you that you shouldn't be hungry when you actually are? Or that Rivita and quark should be enough to sustain you until dinner? If you enter into a fight with your biology, you will always lose. Your body is just trying to keep you alive, and being underfed is a danger to it. So my best advice is to always practice ditching those diet rules and listening to your own wisdom about how and what to eat. So let's wrap this up with a few simple supportive steps to explore this a little bit deeper. So have you ever heard of the hunger scale? This is something that I teach inside the weight loss tribe, but we also have other ways to help you find your hunger and fullness in the first place, because it's okay saying just eat when you're hungry and stop when you've had enough. It took me years to figure this out because the signals weren't there anymore, because they were just so quiet that I couldn't recognize them or notice them. So check out the hunger and fullness. I do have some podcasts on it, but check out the hunger and fullness scale. Practice eating when you're hungry. Practice stopping at enough. Make sure your meals are balanced with lots of kind of protein and vegetables and healthy fats and some carbs to help your body feel like it's having enough food to sustain it. When your body is well fed within reason to enough to sustain your energy, then you can start to listen to those hunger and fullness, and then you can start to follow that. So perhaps journal before you eat. Ask yourself, What was I feeling before I reached for that food? Sometimes it's a simple note like I was tired or I was lonely can reveal these patterns that help you shift things gently into, okay, when I'm in this situation, this is when I want to eat food. This is when I want to emotionally eat. This is when I want to eat outside of when I am hungry. And give yourself a full permission to eat without all of the guilt, and full permission to explore your real needs without any shame. So before I finish up, I just would like to invite you to join me in the Weight Loss Tribe. It is a weight loss program that supports you on your terms with access to me in like your little pocket cheerleader for personalized support at the times that you need it. This isn't a one-to-one meet me on Zoom every hour. This is me on a messaging app in your pocket, talking to me when you need to talk to me. When you face a problem, you can talk to me rather than waiting the next kind of 5-7 days to be able to voice your concerns about anything and, anything that you're finding challenging. So if you're ready to lose weight by creating habits that you can actually do that fit into your life and skipping all of these bullshit rules that we have, come join me in the tribe at julieridley.com/tribe. I will share the link with this episode. So thanks for hanging out for me today. I hope this episode left you feeling ready to take charge of your health, of your eating, of your happiness. And remember, if you're feeling hungry, when you know that you're full, just remember you are not broken. It's not about willpower. It's just a signal, like a little whisper from within asking you to listen. So next time it happens, pause, take a deep breath, get curious. If you've loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate it if you can, and leave a review would be absolutely amazing. Your feedback means the world to me. And remember, it's not being about perfect, it's just about being you, living your best life. So I will see you next time.